Just by doing good content, this thing blossomed.
Yeah, it did more than I ever thought it would. Somebody like myself who was 30 stone, wouldn't go to a gym, didn't have a clue what protein powder was, didn't know what creatine would do to him or whatever, can also use it. I openly always say I spent £150,000 before we ever made a penny because I did it backwards. I kind of treat it as I'm growing a brand rather than we need to make money now.
There's an openness in everything you're doing here. That probably sounds like part of the journey of coming to terms with, I'm a 30 stone man, I need to do something about it.
1,500 calories a day, same 3 meals every day for a year, didn't cheat once, and went and trained every day and walked 8 miles a day.
That's incredible willpower, mate. I mean, forget about everything else. That's respect to you.
I will always say to someone, I was so lucky. I had 3 really good things going for me to lose the weight.
Hello, Andy here. This week we meet Jonathan Lundy, a man of seriously impressive willpower. You try eating the same 1,500 calories a day for a whole year and a daily trip to the gym and see how long you last, as well as having some serious business acumen. Business-wise, Jonathan talks to us about how the insights he's uncovered on his own personal health journey have helped him to build a fitness business that's remarkably free of bullshit, replicate the model into other areas such as medicine, beauty, and pets. He's a dog person, by the way, and still find time for the odd pint of proper beer. It was an absolute pleasure to meet Jonathan, who's a total legend. Let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to Business Without Bullshit. My name is Andy Uri. Today we are joined by Jonathan Lundy. Jonathan, at 30 years old, decided to get his life back and he lost 15 stone in a year. And if you know anything about that subject, that is phenomenal. And fell in love with the health and fitness world. He decided to set up a free-to-use website called Fluencers.com that listed coach profiles for free, offered free gym day passes, provided discount codes for the best brands, plus industry news, reviews, blogs, and videos. Fast forward 4 years later, and that website is now in 10 countries, launched multiple influencer agencies, acquired an online retailer, developed 2 new brands, and has run over 600 campaigns in 2024 alone. Phenomenal. Jonathan, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
That's an amazing story to start with. I mean, let's maybe just start with what was the business or what is the business? So this is a free to use public forum. And you as someone who went through your own health and fitness journey, found that there wasn't something there? There was a gap?
Yeah, so it's a bit of an FU, to be honest, to Men's Health and GQ and those types of great websites that were great and helpful. They are not so helpful now. If you go and Google, can I take pre-workout, or I had a heart attack, can I use protein powder or whatever, you will probably land on a blog page that's been, made for keywords rather than made for help. You will probably have to log in. You will definitely be hit with multiple banners flashing up at you. You will probably be asked for your email 3 times, and it won't give you that much help. So we provided real news, reviews, blogs, and built it from zero to make it really helpful. Because I couldn't find the help, so I figured we'd make the help.
So effectively what you're saying is it the fact that the assumption is almost made that you're young and fit and healthy and obsessed with fitness to start with, and therefore the content and stuff is not being designed around people who are probably in a much greater position and need of wanting to work on their fitness, is it?
Yeah, and it's definitely made to rank on Google rather than made to really give you a win, or it's made to make money. Where, it's an affiliate kind of article or paid for by brand X. It's more of a showcase rather than a help nowadays.
Isn't it funny, the prejudice too, against fat people, there's a prejudice against gingers. There's these sort of, you can't dare to say anything about certain subjects, but the thing you say about being a fat person and going for a run, because you chose to exercise when there wasn't anyone around because you didn't want people to basically laugh at you or feel that pressure. I mean, what it is to me is a scaled up version of what we all feel to fit in, to fit this mold of beauty, and that you're not, if you're not like this, then it's not acceptable. But it's actually really unacceptable that we are so prejudiced against fat people, especially when you study the evolution of it. So within any population, there are people who will be bigger than others, and they are there to survive famine. Like famine was part of human, it's part of all animals' experience for a long, long time. And it was very important to have people who would survive no matter what. You could go months without eating. Very good evolutionary trait that we have. And yet, we will look at it as unacceptable. Do you know what I mean? It's a really complicated subject.
It is. And with Gymfluencers, the way I launched it and the way we still run it to this day is an 18-year-old absolutely shredded bodybuilder can come on and get value. A 60-year-old who's overweight, never been to the gym, can get value. And somebody like myself who was 30 stone, wouldn't go to a gym, didn't have a clue what protein powder was, didn't know what creatine would do to him or whatever, can also use it. We made it so it's kind of like there are articles for everyone and there is help kind of for everyone. And that help for the bodybuilder might be way less than the help the 60-year-old overweight person needs. But they should come on, read it, walk away from it after reading it for a minute and get some value, whether that is just finding a new protein powder to try, getting a discount code, learning about a 5-star gym that we've recommended or whatever it might be. So yeah, we kind of try to cover everyone and everything without kind of singling people out. We're not for pros, we're not for newbies, we're kind of just for anyone who is interested in health, fitness, gyms, whatever it might be that falls under that.
It's a sort of separation. There's a sort of eliteness, isn't it? It's sort of, everyone's sort of refining themselves about getting six packs. Whereas really what health professionals would talk about is you just want to stay away from, I think the horrible term of morbidly obese, isn't it? That your body will struggle to deal with this situation,
For sure. Yeah. It's about being a healthy person. And health comes for different people. And it was weird, actually. I was just actually looking on Instagram and there was a bodybuilder who I knew who actually came to one of our shoots years ago. And he's just quit bodybuilding because he says, well, I'm a doctor. I can't do bodybuilding because my brain was gone. My body was depleted. I was tired. I wasn't thinking. But that was his choice then to become a bodybuilder.
Because of all the stripping and the ripping and the whatever, the fiddling,
Yeah, it was something he could do for so long. Now he can't. So everyone's in a different sort of journey and does things for a different reason. And I applaud it all. I used to think bodybuilders are idiots, they stood on stage with fake tan on and short and, pants. And, I was this 30 stone guy being like, oh, you're an idiot. But the truth is the work they put in is unbelievable and super admirable. So yeah, it's just different strokes for different folks, but we should all be catered for in a helpful way.
The whole rise of this sort of body beautiful, it seems to be very closely timed to the invention of Instagram. And I feel it doesn't quite make sense to me that it's about fitness and health, which is what everyone says it is. It's about vanity. A lot of it is about vanity. There's an aspect of which that, a lot of the behavior is, it isn't, bodybuilding is an interesting example because it pushes the limits, doesn't it? Anyone properly professionally bodybuild, these things are not necessarily good for you. You are trying to sculpt the body and the body isn't necessarily made to do that. I mean, well, that's brilliant. And just by doing that, just by doing good content, this thing blossomed.
Yeah, it did more than I ever thought it would.
Did you spend money on it or did you invest in it? Or?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I openly always say I spent £150,000 before we ever made a penny because I did it backwards. Same with the agency, same with every business. I always do it backwards. I kind of treat it as I'm growing a brand rather than we need to make money now. The agency obviously being a different side of that where everyone's like, I'll launch an agency and make 10K. I was like, I'll launch the agencies and provide a system. The money will follow. And that was the same with the websites. The money was always the last kind of thought. It was always quality first.
There's an openness here. There's a deep openness with how you don't want to compete. This isn't a competition or something.
Never.
Where's that come from?
Because my old job was hyper competitive and it was seek, destroy, buy, beat. The whole world I used to be in was horrendous.
What was this old job?
I used to help online casinos, sportsbooks, and poker rooms.
Oh wow! Wow!
The big $1 billion ones, our own. I helped kind of launch them, do marketing, whatever it was. And yeah, we bought everyone, we squashed everyone, and we dominated. And the other people would say the same. It was just dog eat dog, and I hated that world. I hated the world I was in for a long time. So when I moved away, I knew. No more of that. I'm completely open. There is zero competitiveness. And weirdly, I'm not a competitive person. I'm always against myself. I'm never as a kid was I trying to be better at football than someone. I was just trying to be better than I was, or, when I was gaming or whatever, same thing. So the job didn't even suit me, but it was a necessity to kind of win and to grow and to scale and to profit.
What did you do at these previous jobs? What roles were you sort of playing out of interest?
Most. It was more very much, consultant and figure. So marketing was a big side of it. Affiliation was a big side. Publications.
The gambling world is quite ruthless then.
It's horrendous.
Interesting. And it's a world too. Again, it's one of those, I would agree with people who want gambling banned and stuff. The advertising, sorry. I mean, whether you want to gamble or not, I'm a libertarian, so I'm okay with people having a gamble, but I find whenever we promote, it's like, you don't need to sell drugs, you don't need to sell gambling, you don't need to sell sex, you don't need to sell these things. They are things that people will want,
Yeah, it was even just the marketing side was one side of it, but like the operations side, behind the scenes, tactics, lack of care, casino launches to take all your money. They don't care about you.
There's an openness in everything you're doing here in terms of being open about yourself. And that probably sounds like part of the journey of coming to terms with, I'm a 30 stone man, I need to do something about it. So there's something in that too of you sort of saying, okay, I'm gonna face this person in the mirror, which is a really difficult moment in life. You had a health scare though, was it, that triggered that?
Multiple health scares. I mean, when I was 21, had a bit of a heart issue where I had to ditch the car, go drive myself to hospital, and 4 years recovery from that.
How long, so I was anorexic in my youth, and my brother was as well. So I'm familiar with, weight issues and psychological effects of them. But, what when you were 21, you were already 30 stone sort of thing?
I was the same weight as my age.
Okay.
And it pretty much went up consistently. Yeah.
Is it connected to trauma or it's the way you're wired?
There is no trauma. There is no depression. There is no anything I look back on and think it was because of you, this or that. I don't know why, but I think I was just in this world of me, and that world just got smaller and smaller as I got bigger and bigger. And I just cracked on. I think I just was so into career or so into something.
You weren't looking after you. You were just, I relate to that.
Yeah.
So you were very you were just giving everything, and then it's very hard to be conscious about something else. And actually you can expand that to the thing that, and maybe that's even your example of your doctor friend, that if you obsess about your fitness, actually it's really hard for you to focus on anything else as well. There's a level at which you become too focused.
It 100% is. And I will always say to someone, I was so lucky. I had 3 really good things going for me to lose the weight. I had job freedom. I worked my own hours, could do what I wanted, worked from home. I had money from that job, so I could pay a personal trainer every single day, eat the foods, whatever I needed, I could pay for. And I had no one. So I didn't have a wife needing me. I didn't have a child needing me. I didn't have family members needing me. It was me. So I had time, money, and space. Now, when I've put 4 stone back on since losing, and I had a very frank conversation with my fiance just 2 days ago saying, I've messed up because I've been focused on the business. So I 100% will never go out and be like, it's easy to lose weight. I did it in a year, A
lot of people say that's an unhealthy speed to lose weight, but I know how, losing weight, you want it to happen quickly. The reason people struggle with dieting is because the gains are so slow. You know what I mean? But you set a very tough task there. You just went, fuck it. I mean, you must have just been eating 500 calories a day kind of thing.
Yeah, 1,500 calories a day, same 3 meals every day for a year, didn't cheat once, and went and trained every day and walked 8 miles a day.
That's incredible willpower, mate. I mean, forget about everything else. That's respect to you. Like, for people who are lucky enough that they don't really put on weight, like this skinny bugger over there, but he's yeah, I know. You're very sexy, D. Anyway, I'm just talking to our producer. But certainly, people have different abilities on that thing, and it's easy for some people, isn't it? That is incredible. You are capable of. I mean, I'm not trying to blow smoke, but when someone does that kind of willpower, that's phenomenal. You're capable of incredible things, Yeah,
it was definitely something I look back on and I'm super proud of. But I had tried it 4 times before and failed 3.
Okay.
And I did find a trainer who would train me at 9 p.m. every night.
Yeah, that was interesting to find someone who wasn't in the gym.
So I literally found the perfect trainer, Sarah, who turned up at 9 every night.
Big up Sarah. What's her surname?
Sarah Rogers.
Hey, Sarah Rogers.
If it wasn't for her, and I walked into that gym at 9 o'clock when it was shut, because that's the only time I would dare to go out. And she was there every single day, even though she'd been working since 6 a.m. She was there on New Year's Day, training with me. And I said to her one thing, don't let me get bored, because I'll walk away. She never did the same workout twice for a year. She was the biggest fan. She was the hardest worker. She was the only human ever who could have made me do it. So it wasn't just my willpower. That girl kept me going big time. I got the text when I needed it. I got the call when I needed it.
You're making me emotional. I know. No, it's beautiful. But you need help in life. And personal trainers are an interesting thing. I've only ever used them once or twice, but there's something about a third party, particularly one who's not a friend or family, who comes in. We have a sense of responsibility to a third party, which is quite interesting. I think it's apparently it's to do with the psychological principles of tribalism and building trust and stuff, that we'll try and build a relationship. We want people to think we're a better person than we are. So we'll be more committed to delivering for a third party than we would for our friend who knows us already, knows we're a fucking waste of space,
Yeah. And same thing. I had multiple personal trainers when I tried before. Some of them charged me double what she charged me and were bigger, better, and all these fancy things on how they sell. And some were there just to sell their time and to sell whatever it might be. She was genuinely there. Yeah, she got paid every single day and did very well out of it because it was every day for a year. It was kind of dream client, I guess, in a way, but not the dream hours.
9 o'clock at night. That's a commitment from her end. Every single day.
Every single day. She didn't give a damn about money. She didn't care about...
She cared about you. She saw the human inside.
Yeah.
And actually, like all of these things, whether you talk about skin deep and, unfortunately, when you see a fat person, you see a fat person. You don't see the human. And that's a really sad bit of our psychology. We're very judgmental beings, I mean, let's talk more about, so the openness is really interesting. So you came from the super competitive thing, said, bugger that, I'm going to be open. That openness continues in the fact that you effectively are there. Your focus is not on making money. Your focus is like, let's help people and let the money come.
For the .com, yeah. And then when the .com started making money.
And was that advertising money, was it? Or
affiliation advertising?
Affiliation.
Yeah, I mean, we sell
millions. You knew what to do from the gambling underneath it. Some of this.
The marketing, affiliation. Yeah. It was almost a clone, really, of the thing. It was just done in a different way. It was done the other way around. But yeah, I mean, like I always say to people, don't confuse it. This is a business for profit. I am scaling the business. But even though we make good money now, I don't want to make the money now. I want to make the money if I exit one day. So yes, enough money needs to come in to fuel my team of 8, full-timers.
Good team of 8, full-time, running this website or running, because you've now launched these multiple brands. You've taken this brand and rolled it out effectively.
Yeah, so gymfluencers.com became gymfluencers.agency, which is influencer marketing. Gymfluencers agency became dog fluencers, meow fluencers, parent PR, travel fluencers, foodie fluencers. I then launched a Medivide with Dr. Karen.
What's a Medivide?
Medivide is an influencer agency for medical professionals.
Why?
So my business partner there is Dr. Karen, who's that famous NHS doctor who pops in at the corner of your screen and says, do you sweat like this from your earlobe? This is why. He's got 10 million followers. And then, it just kind of kept going.
Do you sweat from your earlobe?
That was a random... I don't think that was ever an example, but he got mega big because he was like answering the weird questions of, or if someone was claiming something, he'd be like, nah, this is not true, or this is true.
So now you've got how many companies now? 8?
33 companies.
33 limited companies or 33 brands?
33 brands.
33. Don't have 33 limited companies if you can avoid it.
I think I'm at 6.
Your accountant, or if I was your advisor, I'd say, that would make life much better. Yeah, that's 33 companies. I've got all these tax things I can do now, and then it'd be like, oh, bloody hell, the accounts are costing me 200 grand a year. So of these, do you feel you've done, because that's a lot, that's like boom, boom. Now, is that too much now? Or you think you could add another more? You could just keep going? Because doesn't each one of these 33 companies need quite a lot of care and attention, or it's a model?
It's a model. I was the only salesperson up until 4 months ago for the last 3 years.
Wow.
For all of them. So it was doable.
Explain that to me a little bit more. I've built a website. I've got a topic. I'm passionate now about this topic. I think lots of people are talking bollocks about this topic, which is surprisingly regular. I think partly due to SEO. I think that's part of the noise out there, which is just going round in circles. AI is doing the same crap. You go out there, you make some great content. What do I do now? Affiliate marketing. What does that mean?
Well, yeah, the .com side of things, which is the gymfluencers.com, they would come to us and we would write an article. And
because you were showing up on Google?
Yeah, and because we've got traffic now.
How long did that take? You started writing good content. You were writing it, were you? A lot of it, researching it, writing it from the heart, learning about it on your journey through that year.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Google starts working it out. You start getting emails, do you? You've got an email list. People are joining, are they?
Yeah, we're joining affiliate programs.
What about affiliate programs? To me, that's like noise. What does that mean?
Vitamin Company A has an affiliate program you can join as anybody, a media outlet, an influencer, a newspaper, whatever it might be. You will join and you'll get this magical link that is tagged to your affiliate account. If you drive a sale, you get commission.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah. Click through, I would call it. Okay. As simple as that.
Yeah. So that was that side. And then the agency side is the influencer stuff. So I went out there again in a very different way where I launched an agency because I heard 1,200 brands slag off influencers and how hard they are to work with, or bad quality, or agencies charge lots, deliver little. And I spoke to all the influencers and athletes who said brands message me, then they ghost me. I make a post and then say make another to get paid. I then wait 13 months to get paid. So I went backwards again and all the influencers had to join. So I get name, address, size of top.
They had to join your platform.
Yeah. So and they pay 30 quid a year to do it, which was very different. But that's for the brand. They're real. They're not going to scam. But that was different. No other agency charges. So I had to prove a point.
So you went to the influencers and said, I sign up for 30 quid a year, and then
we will work our ass off to get you as much collabs and content as possible.
We'll deal with the agent. We'll deal with these affiliates, and we'll make sure you get paid.
Just the brands in general, yeah.
Then you have leverage because you're an agency now. I represent 50 influencers, so you better pay my bills, and you haven't paid John. So what's going on?
Yeah, so we're different. Where the fact they've joined and we've got this data, such as shoe size. So we've got 12,000 influencers across them all now.
12,000, wow.
Across every agency. And obviously there's 7 or 8 agencies. A shoe brand, Adidas, could come to me now and say, right, we want to work with 1,000 people. And in a single minute, I can filter whatever criteria Adidas give me. 20 to 30-year-old females, done. That takes 1 second across the 12,000. What size shoe do they all have? I don't need to go to 1,000 of them or 12,000 and say, what size shoe? I say to Adidas, here's the 1,000 people, here's their shoe size, here's their Instagrams, here's their followers, here's their cost. But then also for the influencer, we don't take commission off their rate and they set their own rates. But then they could charge £1,000 a post. We get them £1,000 a post. They keep £1,000 a post, and the brand has paid us for that.
And the brand's just paying you as an agency for the stuff. You say, I can give you that data and I can give you the people and we'll charge you a fee.
Yeah. So a brand typically comes to us and either we've got a package, we do something called mass gifting. They can work with 100 profiles for just a few grand, and then they can send the products out. They get loads of Instagram activity content, or they can come to us and say, a very famous energy drink company came to us and said, in 10 days time, we need 50 influencers in a nightclub. Next Thursday, here's the budget, make it happen. And we did flights and hotels and stories and Instagrams, and they all got paid, and we did all the work for the brand. So we did in a day what the brand wouldn't have been able to do in a year. What
do you feel about influencers? I guess it's just a new business, really. I mean, there's 12,000. Are they mostly UK? They're all over, are they?
99.9% the UK.
How many influencers are there in the UK now? Like 100,000 or something? There must be shitloads.
This is where we're different. Some are influencers.
What do you class influence? More than 100,000 followers?
No. So for us, we're super different. Anyone with a following who does good quality content, we class as an influencer or a creator. So we know that somebody with 2,500 followers might get overlooked because they're just a real person with a following. But we know they're followed by 2,500 people very similar to them, because they're the personal trainer at Pure Gym Newcastle. So all of the people following them are probably mostly from Newcastle.
Yeah.
Mostly probably go to that gym. Mostly know them through. So for us, they could actually maybe sell or do way more than that reality TV star with 2 million followers, who is followed by 20% America, 40% India.
I much prefer that too, because I just find once it gets big, it's like, well, you're big branding. It's all bullshit again. It's sort of, I don't know what it is that gets under my skin about it, but it's sort of, I think once you become that big, I see you as someone with a responsibility more. Do you know what I mean? If you got 2,500 followers, be you, that's fine. But once you're this big figure, there's a bit more responsibility to, I don't know, I struggle to put it into words, but there's something different about it.
There's selling, there's showing, which often sells, and there's just making great content for brands who can use it forever. For us, influencer marketing is completely mistaken, and because I can go out there and we've got footballers with 10 million followers who charge 100 grand a post. They're great for something, but so is that girl with 2,500 followers. So is the person with 100k followers.
Well, probably you would say, 50 people with 2,000 followers is better than one person with 100,000 if they're engaged. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's completely variable. There is no set thing, and that's why it annoys me. Like agencies used to charge or people used to charge like £1 per X amount of followers, or £100 per 1,000 followers. It was just mathematics gone wrong. It's you charge for your value, and that's what we do for the brands. And I think why the brands like us.
What do you think is the biggest problem facing this sort of influencer market?
I think it's probably past. I think before it was Wild West. It was this person came off Love Island, pay him 50 grand, have a post and nothing happens. I think a lot of agencies are like mine now, where as standard, the brand owns the content forever.
As standard, the brand owns the content. Oh, the brand who gets the post owns that content, does it?
Yeah, that's what we make a standard kind of.
But they've posted it on their site, but you say, I have a right to tell you to take it down. Does that mean? What does that mean? I own the the video they've done.
Yeah, so they can repurpose it. Yeah, so they can then go and chop it up into an ad, put it on
without
TikTok.
Getting further permissions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I find that. I mean, I even find it irritating in photography and stuff when they're like, "Yes, I've taken your picture. You can put it on the website." It's like, look, just give me the fee so I can do what I want with this picture.
Yeah. On the Medivide side, which is like separate to mine, like I said, that's the only one I sort of co-own. It is a lot stricter, where you pay for 6 months, use it for 6 months, and that's all agreed. And it's because they are an NHS doctor, or because they cannot be rinsed forever.
And explain that again. So this is the doctor
Medivide, medically verified.
Ah, okay. And then what happens there?
So it's a bit of a higher level where it is just influencers and content, but these are people who are actively doctors, surgeons, neurologists, a very high standing, who have lots of followers and create stunning content. So they are very much a unicorn for brands. And obviously, being doctors, they do not want to be peddling multiple products. They want to be in with a brand. They can't show a different vitamin company every month. It's
from a sort of professional consistency basis.
They want to work with a brand for 6 months.
They want to work out which one's the best and look at the science and make a decision on this is the one I'm going to back.
Yeah. And my co-founder, Dr. Karen, does not let anybody in. For a brand to work with us, he says yes or no. I think I know a lot about this industry and brands and formulations and naughty things and good things and, claims and whatever. There's 2 brands I've taken to him who I thought, God, these are perfect. I mean, they've been on TV. They've got great things. They're number 1 sellers. I've gone through it all. And he's like, nope, because of this.
We will never find out the name of these brands. Although I will now, off camera.
So yeah, he surprised me with 2, which is great, because I don't want that brand to get in the door, me to then go to a doctor who's signed to us and say, I've got this great opportunity. And they're like, I won't work with them because of this. So everyone has a say anyway. The creator's not going to do it if they're not happy. They accept or decline everything. But I want to get them an offer and them to be like, perfect brand, great products, no issues, really proud to put my face on it, good payment.
I would say you're alluding to the deep discipline of medicine, being married to a doctor. I see her eyes, glaze and roll at the same time when I try and talk about medicine. It doesn't, it takes you 10 years to really even know what you're talking about. So you're going to, and then you'll probably do, Dr. Karen is probably, 20 years been doing this flat out focused. And the intellectual demand and the sort of, the understanding of these subjects. And we're all Google kids, aren't we? And we're like, oh, it's terribly simple. It works like this. To some extent, I have this in tax with people when they've read around and they start throwing stuff at you. Like, okay, you don't really understand. So I can understand with a doctor that they're just on a different level on these subjects. Do you know what I mean?
Crazily. They are honestly, I speak to them. So when an influencer wants to kind of be on the network, because they join in the same way, but they're invited by him, or if we don't know them, then there is a small payment just to ensure they are real. I speak to them all and they've all said the same thing. Yes, I want to make money out of this and I want great opportunities, but I will not peddle any crap. I will not work with this brand. I will not do
integrity of professionalism.
All of them though. Typically, you find no matter what, there is one who's like, just get me 20 grand, I don't care.
It doesn't fit within the professions. I can't do it either. You're not a professional. The whole principle of a professional is if you want to be more callous about it, we are regulated incredibly strongly, and you don't have to take me to court for me to lose my job. Like the very common example in my job as a sort of tax accounting is it's never your close friend. It's a friend of a friend who rings you up and says, "Oh, Andy, I need you to do this for me. Can you just sign this document?" Well, no, not necessarily. "Oh, come on, you know me, mate. Come on, it's just a quick. It's my life." "Oh, but you'll never, what's the chances?" Well, the chances are almost zero, but the impact is disastrous. It's my entire career gone down the fucking toilet. And why would I take that risk? And you could see them doing the mathematics in their head. They're like, yeah, but it's such a small chance. It's why, so the integrity of institutes is interesting because you don't have to take to court. You only need to go to a medical institute or a tax institute and say, Andrew Rory did this thing. I don't think it's right. He supported this product that I know is bullshit. You're in a lot of trouble already,
Yeah, absolutely. And these people as well, I think a lot of people assume supplement brands or something, or like food, whatever these type of brands are, would want these doctors, and they do. But for me, it's actually all these doctors are getting approached by like financial companies, which is great, or travel companies, Ubers of the world, because it's not just about, hey, I'm a doctor, take this because it makes you healthy. It's actually not what people are kind of going for them for. It's, this company helps me organize my life. This company helps me travel efficiently.
Oh, is that more what they would go with? Yes, stay away from medicine. Use your integrity as a brand, as a medical professional.
I went to a tea brand and I said, wouldn't it be really cool to be known as the go-to brew for doctors?
Brilliant.
Because they all drink tea, all the coffee brands and all these kind of things. And that's kind of where we're trying to go down.
Yorkshire tea said no.
Not Yorkshire tea. And they didn't say no.
That's great. That's clever marketing too, isn't it? There's something so like... I think doctors feel incredibly disrespected in society now. I mean, you can talk about, the clappers. So, during COVID, everyone coming out and clapping. But, a year later, they're giving them shit and saying, "Oh, I've read on Google, I need this drug. Why haven't you given it to me? Give it to me." It's like, well, I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm telling you, you don't need that drug. So you either go do your own thing, but also they're so badly paid. I mean, that's so hard for them. Last night, what am I listening to my wife? She comes home after a night shift and they've got these managers. She was explaining to me. So a brand new manager comes in on 40 grand. And she was saying, as a registrar, she says, that means you for 5 years post-qualified. She said the registrar is the toughest job in the hospital. It is absolutely mind-blowing stress. She says you don't get to eat, you don't get to sleep, you can't leave your post, and you are getting 40 grand a year. You are getting the same as this manager. And then they say, oh, but the manager's salary doesn't go up. She's like, my prospects are that you would go up to 60, 70, a top consultant get 100 grand a year. I mean, there's something deeply wrong. And the world that went by of, oh, but it's a vocation, you do it because you care. Yeah, I care. But I think these days I care and I need to be paid. On that basis, influencers shouldn't be paid. Rock stars shouldn't be paid because it sounds great to me, bobbing around, talking bollocks and stuff like that. Oh, you guys don't need any money. I mean, you try telling that to a musician or something, it's not going to wash, is it? So you're offering them a source of income.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's not like they're that hard up of it because they're getting a lot of offers now. This is where the industry is going.
Is it?
People want trust again. People, and don't get me wrong, Fluencers, we have lots of supplement brands who obviously want to now go work with a doctor, a nutritionist, whatever, and they will, as long as, our co-founder says yes, for those type of ones. But these medical influencers are getting DMs every day off brands. A lot, because like I said, they are a unicorn because they make great content, they have followers, and they are a doctor. So there isn't many of them.
They can't make content about their patients. They're just making other content, are they? Oh, have a look at this. This looks like a horrible injury,
A lot of them are just not of their patients, of videos from the internet. Fascinating stuff. Or then people are like really sort of deep diving.
Breaking down stuff. Or,
I think it's brilliant content, and it's helpful content. It's engaging content. It's sometimes disgusting content, which is great for social media.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're getting DMs all the time off brands, but the issue is they're a surgeon. They're going into surgery. They're getting home. They're exhausted. They then have to talk to a brand, negotiate with the brand, do the deal with the brand, get paid off the brand. Instead, we just come in and say, we'll do it all. We'll actually probably get you paid more money because we know what brands pay. We know your value more than you. And one thing we do with all my agencies, and again, it's probably a bit different, is we always take the payment up front from the brand. So we protect everyone. We're kind of an escrow in a weird way. Yes, we get our markup included or our service fee or whatever. But our average payout time to influencers is 5 minutes. We do tens of thousands of collabs. And that was the big breaker. And again, with these medical influencers, one joined, he got paid 15 grand or something to do a keynote. He didn't get paid for 13 months. Not with us. This was like years ago. And he came to us and he was like, I just can't do it anymore. I was chasing more money than I was making. I turned up, did a great job, massive company, didn't pay me for 13 months. So instead we come in and we're like, pay us. They will only get paid when they complete. Everyone's protected.
It's the power of the middleman. It gets underestimated, but it's super useful.
Yeah.
Because you have the power that you've got as you say, the spreadsheet that you've got. I can bring 1,000 to the table. I can deliver this thing for you. But this, you mention it too, this sort of attitude about, giving and an attitude about not focusing on profit. These are not generally business approaches.
I'm a bad businessman.
But you're not, apparently, or are you? Do you know what I mean? You seem to be building successful. So there's a generosity of heart within it, but there's a smartness to it, like being open with those things. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to work out where your control mechanism is, because this isn't just give it all away. You wouldn't be sitting here.
No. We make great money and we've got our revenues growing every day and we are a business for profit, but we do things en masse and we do it quickly. So I can do 100 campaigns a month and charge a couple of grand for them. Pre-contracted, pre-negotiated. We know these 30 lines of data are about allergens. We know what they want to do. We do things on such a scale that nothing ever really goes
It's
wrong.
all platform-based. It's all just, I've had a request, it's gone through, the influencer accepted it, they press a button, they've got to deliver. When they deliver, they let us know and we pay them.
Yeah, somewhat. And we've got some smart little tracking things and CRMs and databases and stuff. But we can do a campaign for 2 grand, for example, where another agency would have to charge 8 to make money because of their time, because of their bad systems.
Overhead.
Because they have to go on TikTok, scroll down, DM someone, wait for them to reply.
Whereas you're emailing almost, you're directly in touch, are you?
We're instant. A brand could literally ask me, and they have today, I've done 3 of them. They can say, I want to work with 100 people. Or you say, okay, here's 100 people. They've got the list. They can send the product. Tomorrow it begins. It's really quick.
That's amazing. And this is almost born out of this cauldron of gambling again, this vicious price competitive industry that everyone's fighting over these players, because it's a weird thing, gambling. You think a lot of people gamble, but it's a pretty small percentage of people who do it regularly. It's probably a similar percentage of people who do, I don't know, smoke pot or something. It's like, it's one of those behavioral things that you do. Like, how many friends do I have? Like, I can think of one friend who loves to gamble. Anything you do, he's like, oh, I bet you such and such, and you're like, really, Mike? He's Irish. I mean, I'm not saying anything, Mike. Big up, Mike. But, he's in the gambling industry too. I think it's a world, isn't it? But it's that knowledge that you went and applied, the efficiency knowledge almost, is it?
Yeah. Efficient and effective was the tagline from day one. It's not actually a tagline I've used for a very long time, but weirdly, one of our clients he calls me Mr. Efficient because I always reply quick. The team's on it. We complete. They need something. We do. We can just move really fast.
It sounds like you just got to look after yourself a little bit more again, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I've hired people and now I can step away. I can sack myself from the size of the business and I can step outside of it and come to London and do a podcast. I can go home and sleep without going back on the computer for 4 hours.
What's driving you in this? What's driving you? Like, you want to see this business a success. You want to help people. What is going on?
Multiple things. Thank you. Obviously, the start of it was, let's get brands seen. Let's get coaches listed. Let's get gyms full again. The agency side is let's stop having brands getting ripped off and do things quicker and better, and actually let's see brands achieve and grow and scale. Because if every agency actually delivered or didn't charge them enough to hurt them if they didn't, then more brands would thrive, survive, grow, and do. On my side of it, I've always been open. I want to exit the company for a lot of money and ride off into the sunset with my family.
Well, that was my next question. So what is that your long-term goal?
Yeah, it's always has been, yeah.
Freedom.
Massive, yeah. I need to not work one day because I had my first business when I was 15. I'm 22 years, absolute nonstop.
Wow. What was your first business when you're 15?
I just want to say that I said 22 years nonstop. There's a 70-year-old man sat there thinking I've done it for 60, so shut up. And they've worked way harder and in way harder jobs. It's just my head one day will not be able to do it. Well, my first business was eBay. I bought and sold stuff on eBay.
Oh, did you?
I was 15. I was in secondary school, and someone in school mentioned they bought a WWE belt off eBay, and I was like, "What the hell's this eBay?" So I checked it out, and I remember searching. And there was this Prada hat for 50 quid. I was 15. I didn't have 50 quid, so I emailed the seller as a 15-year-old who signed up under his dad's name or a fake date of birth and said, "I really want one of these. I'm only 15. I don't have 50 quid." And he goes, "I'll tell you what. I'll sell you 5 of them for 60 quid because I'm getting out with this." And I was like, and I looked at my friend Jason. I was like, "Do you want to buy a hat for 20 quid?" And then that 50 quid became 200 quid. I sold the hat because I didn't want it. I wanted the 50 quid profit. That 250 quid became 500 quid. And
I love someone summarizing business because it's like business seems so complicated, but I saw someone say this years back, it's just selling something for more than you paid for it.
yeah, it was the best time of my life. And I never, ever, ever thought I would get that excitement back, but I have with this company.
I understand now why you're pushing into all these different areas because no one sorted it out and you know how to do it. And you've got the platform. You just slam a different label on it and you're off.
Yeah, it's copy and paste. I can launch an agency in 6 days.
Wow.
Because it's the same website, same CRM, remodeled. And then what happened was Fluencers was so hard to build because it was new. So to get all of those influencers to sign up and pay, to get all these brands to trust me. But now, like, for example, Fluencers was launched. There's 5,500 people on there. I then launched Fluencers. Who's got a dog signed up? They then sign up for other people who have a dog. Travel Fluencers who travels. Foodie Fluencers.
It gets easier
who does food.
because there's so many overlapping interests. In
Yeah.
fact, all of those things most people are interested in.
So it just builds. And then, like, I launched Parent PR 2 months ago, which is parents with kids. We've got 650 influencers in 4 weeks.
Wow. You're a parent, are you?
Yeah, I've got 15.
You pick the subjects you understand.
Always. Yeah, always. The only one that wasn't that is Meowfluencers.
I wonder what Meowfluencers do. You're a dog man, you said, with 4 dogs.
Yeah, so but that was because all the dog brands we were working with owned a cat brand. So they were saying, "Do you have cats?" Well, we can get cats. So we did cats, and we don't do cats. But yeah, all of it is interest to me. And like I say, like, I want to exit one day to make my money. Now we will make enough money. Life is good. Everyone's getting paid. I bonus people all the company money, to be honest. But whilst we do it, we'll just do it en masse.
And do you own the business? Do you get involved in, how do you keep the staff and everyone, pay them well, is it? Or are you getting into share options or these sorts of things?
I own 100% of the company, apart from the side businesses. I own brands and stuff with 50-50 with people.
The joint ventures. Don't do 50-50, by the way.
Yeah,
please have 51.
but my the main company I have to own 100% of forever because I want to be able to exit it quickly. I don't want to have to ask permissions or do complicated things, and I want control over it. I actually went to raise investment 15 months ago, and on a Sunday night, on the Monday morning when I went to get the money, I had to say no, thank you. It was a horrible stress. It was really bad.
The deal was bad, was it?
Deal was great. There was a few $100,000 sat there waiting for me the next day. Company was valued way higher than I ever would have valued it myself, even though I halved what the company told me to do. It was just someone would message me who's bought, and I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, bought 0.25% and saying, "I don't need to work with this brand one day because I don't like them." And I'm like, can't do it.
How do you know? You just realized that was what was going to happen?
Yeah, it was a horrible 3 months of raising money because it was just call and time, and it took my mind off things.
Oh, it's terrible. Raising money, it will destroy a business. That's the irony of it.
Big time. So I'm glad I walked away, and yeah, now I keep it all where it's mine. Because I can't have any issue ever, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to build a hell of a machine and a great business and something that does good and doesn't cost. And yeah, it's just a different business, a really different business.
What do you think about the atmosphere for entrepreneurs right now?
Gosh, not so great. But build your own economy. Don't stress it. You'll be fine. And I love that kind of logic of build your own economy. Prime Minister can do what he wants. These can do what they want. They can charge what they want. Build your own economy. Figure it out. Be above the pain point, and you'll be okay.
Have you considered leaving, or,
I would love to live in Dubai, not just for the tax. I actually just love the place. I think it's great. It would be cool for my business. But I've got 4 dogs. I'm going nowhere.
I feel the environment is a bit toxic and it's not very helpful, but then I ask myself the question, well, from a business point of view, where are you going to go do business? Dubai is an option if you're into that world. Do you know what I mean? It's less funny in Dubai. Having got off the call this morning with some Dubai business people coming into the UK, they definitely weren't getting my jokes. It's not going well.
Yeah, you wouldn't go down well.
I don't go down well in Dubai.
I think I went down all right. I was actually just literally the chairperson for the Expo Summit at Dubai Active, which is mental.
There's so many British people there too.
But just the whole thing, I got invited to be this person. A fitness event when I was 30. So it was a bizarre thing, and it was amazing, and the connections and the people and like the passion. It was like hustle culture to the best degree. It was like, let's build this thing. And they're actually very similar people, where they're kind of building businesses to provide first and thinking of money second. They're all about service, premium, the best systems. I love the culture in Dubai. If I had unlimited money, a private jet, and all these things to take 4 dogs and a child and everything, then yeah, we wouldn't be here.
Have you seen Bark Air or whatever it's called? Yeah. $8,000, London to New York, 1 ticket plus a dog.
Bargain. I've just got 4 dogs and need to do it 4 times.
I actually thought it was a bargain. It sounded a lot of money to people, but you go and look at what business class costs you. You're getting a private jet and your dog can come.
It is amazing. And yeah, we even looked at all these things thinking, should we just go?
Don't go. You're too cool and positive. I don't want everyone leaving the UK, man.
I'm good. I mean, I'm different, where get me that big country house in the middle of nowhere near nobody in England, and I'm still just as happy. Like I don't need a posh apartment in Dubai or a swimming pool in Australia, or I'm just cool as long as everyone around me's cool. So I don't need too much, or I don't care if it's England, Australia, Dubai, or Japan, or wherever. It's about everyone kind of just having something nice.
I think too, your build your own economy is so important because governments are so unpredictable. I mean, my old man laughed at me a few years back when I was like, oh, and he was like, he's just laughing. He's like, you still trust government or something? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't trust the fucking government. You don't know what. And I'm Huguenots, my roots of my name, and the Huguenots were persecuted like the Jews almost. They would try to wipe them out in France. Whatever it was, Louis the IV or something, and then hundreds of years ago. But that whole principle of kind of like it underpins sort of this something. It's funny. It feels like a long time ago, but it's only like 9 generations, and it's been passed down word of mouth. It's like don't trust these people, but also you can't. What does business want? It wants certainty. Well, we have no certainty. We don't know what's going to happen next.
I've been in business 22 years. I can hand on heart say this government has only ever taken and hurt my company. For 22 years, I can't ever say I feel I've been helped by my government.
Yeah. Okay.
But like the way I say it is not like a diss on it, but it's like, go ring the HMRC now. You're going to wait 40 minutes of your day waiting on hold. You're not going to get something. And that's it. And I don't bitch about it. I don't care. I'm just going to run my business. And my accountant's, great now and everything. And my team are great. Everyone gets paid. We do everything as we think is correct. I listen to my accountant and do everything they say is correct. We will just run this until someone does one day say, maybe it's not correct. But I'm hoping 99.9% I am correct.
It's almost like you say, the issue isn't the facts. The issue isn't the rules. The issue in a way is the news and the atmosphere. And they're like, let that bog you down. The anger that people have towards these rich people or towards this or, these immigrants or these benefit takers or there's just all this like bad feeling being swelled up through our wish to digest it. Click your fingers, stop listening to it. How much does it really affect you on a day-to-day? I mean, some people perhaps a lot, but a lot not.
I genuinely have no care or try not to care. As long as we're getting people paid internally, as long as business is coming in and going out, things can change however they want.
It's an amazing story, mate. I mean, there's so many bits of it. The business side is really interesting. I think it's really, the fact you were invited to chair that thing in Dubai, it's compelling because I think your story that I've lost 15 stone and that's just more interesting than someone else adding another pack to their six pack, or they're, you know, refining their fitness journey. You know, it's sort of like, it's so, I don't know. I think underneath it, there are far more people who struggle with these things than you know. The public eye is full of the sort of the perfect and the beautiful, isn't it? You know, whereas the majority of us aren't that. You know, we struggle with these things. But your openness too, mate, is amazing. You know, so hats off to you. Right, we're going to do a quick fire round, do a couple of fun things to end the show, yeah? So we're going to name some stuff, ask you some questions that are simple questions. You should know the answer to them, just to get to know you a little bit better even. Dee's going to cue some music. And my first question is, what was your first job?
My first business when I was 15.
Oh, yeah, we discussed it.
eBay seller.
eBay seller. Very good. And what was your worst job?
Working in casinos. I already had 3.
Oh, yeah. You've ticked these off. We don't even need to do this. Do I know your favourite subject at school? No. What's your favourite subject at school?
Maths.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, maybe not even maths. I didn't get GCSEs or stuff.
Did you not?
But when I say maths because when I was in primary school, I was brilliant at maths because it was simple divide multiplications. And I was the first to do the 12 timetables backwards in year 4.
Wow.
So I always say maths, but in secondary school, not maths. My mum always says my favourite subject at school was playtime.
Okay.
I went to school to
have fun.
Yeah, big time. Didn't do any work.
Wow. What's your special skill?
Special skill.
You have some business skills.
I went to party trick in my head then. I was like, I don't even have a party trick. Special skill, creating systems.
Creating systems.
Yeah.
Okay. Building out the system and how it plugs together.
Yep.
And you enjoy that. It's kind of maths again. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Didn't ever know until now.
Really?
There was never a plan. Or like a dream job. I had no clue. And like I say, when I left eBay when I was 18, because things kind of changed in that world and whatever, I never thought I'd find something as fun. So I guess this.
And what did your parents want you to be?
Dad always wanted me to have a real job.
Which means in a corporate.
No, it was like, he wanted me to work in like a shop just to learn the value of money, even though I had my own business. I don't know, it was a weird one. Mum just wanted me to do whatever made me happy, and that's still her saying to this day.
Very nice. Have you got a go-to karaoke song? You ever do a bit of karaoke?
You don't want to ever hear me sing.
What a lovely voice. Office dogs, business or bullshit?
Office dogs. Yeah, bring them on. I've got 4.
What are their names? Let's have their names.
Milo, Bean, Archie, and Athena.
Nice. What's your vice?
4. Beer.
Beer.
Love beer.
Okay. All types? IPA?
Oh, no, not the weird stuff. Proper lager, proper beer.
Well, that's changed over the years, hasn't it? You go back a few years, someone old listening to this thing, that's not proper beer. My scientist uncle explained it to me. He said, the reason that's not proper beer, Andy, talking about lager, is it's dead, whereas an IPA is still alive. And he was like a scientist.
It just doesn't taste as nice. I like lager, I like beer. And I always say this, I've never been drunk for 10 years. Been tipsy lots. I drink often, but I don't drink a lot. Like, I love a couple of beers often. But you will never see me drunk because when I get dizzy, I'm sick and I can't work.
Oh, how interesting. Yeah, that's a good way round. I don't think I've managed to control any of my behaviors. And any top tips for founders, entrepreneurs?
Not at that level to give tips yet. Just work your ass off. That's what I'm doing. I have no idea.
Well, you've already given some. Be open, you know, give more than take.
Different strokes and different folks. Sometimes I wish this was a faceless company still. And I didn't put it out there and I just worked the mechanics and made the money.
You didn't have to talk about yourself, you mean? Or...
Just anything. Yeah, like this would still work if I wasn't here.
Yeah.
So I just think do what makes it work. Whether that's you in front of it, you running it, you in the middle of it, you never near it, you in a Bali villa on a laptop.
How much is the story how this first business started? How important was that story when you were starting the business?
I didn't tell anyone for 2 years.
I was going to say.
I didn't turn my camera on Zoom for 1.5 years.
Oh, because you were building a fitness business and thought, I need to
this
look.
Fat guy cannot be on the court. So I only put my face to it about 1 year ago.
How interesting. And was there a reaction to that?
Everyone said, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then I said, yeah, of course. And I just run with it. And I am proud of it. I'm happy with it. I don't feel like I need to shout about it or should. yeah, I'm super proud of it. So why not?
Jonathan, you've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for doing this today. That has been this week's episode of Business Without Bullshit. Thank you too to Dee, our incredibly fit producer, my dog who's getting old and slightly less fit. Sorry,
Beautiful dog.
Catch us next Wednesday. And until then, it's ciao.